Our sex life had gone from hot and heavy to basically non-existent. We went backwards. So instead of getting all of this constant love and constant communication and constant attention, it just started to get less and less and less, to the point where it would be days on end that I wouldn't hear from him. And I confronted him. Are you seeing someone? Have you met someone? He looked at me with like, no, how dare you say that? I'm like, well, I don't know. Where have you been? And I think he even said at one point, like, you don't believe me? Do you want to smell my dick? And I was like, no, I don't want to smell your dick. Like, you're so gross. Ugh. He just had this way of making me confused. If I did try to vocalize how I was really feeling, it would be like talking in a circle, to the point where I just kind of felt like I was going crazy or making a big deal out of nothing. I remember one night I was talking to a girlfriend. I was confiding in her what was going on, and she was like, it sounds like he's gaslighting you. And I was like, gaslighting? I don't even know what that is. And she said, when we get off the phone, look it up. And I looked it up and I was like, what the? Oh my God. Like, yes. I was on my computer and I noticed that the screen pops up asking me about my passwords. Jace used to use my computer all the time. I was like, I saw this pattern with his password, typed it in, and boom, I get into his Gmail. And all of a sudden, I start seeing, you're matched, you're matched, you're matched. And I see that he's talking to like, not just a couple women, but hundreds of them. Jace had been on this dating app chatting with some of these people at least a year and a half. I didn't even know half these dating apps existed. He was on Badoo, he was on Zoosk, he was on Match, he was on Tinder, he was on Bumble, he was on Hinge. All of them. All through our entire relationship.
He seemed desperate. If it was a few hours that I hadn't texted him, he would be like, where are you? What's going on? And I'd never remembered that in him. My intuition is like, something just doesn't feel right to me.
After we had our first date, he just stopped responding to me. And then months later, I'd hear from him and he'd say, remember our kiss? I can't stop thinking about our kiss. And I was like, okay, buddy, I think it's wearing a little thin.
He would carry this backpack around like a woman with a purse. And I kind of teased him about it. I said, what have you got in there? You have to have it in every room with you. And I was joking with him. He says, oh, nothing. It's just my mail and some papers and things. And oh, that's weird. So one day I looked in it. And I saw a letter in it. And it said Jason Porter on it.
This one name just kept popping up. Jason Porter, Jason Porter. Who the fuck is Jason Porter?
Who's Jason Porter?
I don't know Jason Porter. I know Jace Peretti. Who the fuck is Jason Porter?
My heart rate's getting high, and I'm getting very nervous. Called a friend of mine, and I said, look this name up. He had things going back to when he was 20 years old. He was a criminal. He was a thief. He committed fraud. He was a burglar.
I guess I'm his type. Successful, has a lot of Tiffany jewelry and Cartier watches.
I see what he's writing to these women, his sweet pet names. I realize it's a signature line that he's using on every woman, like, hey, beautiful, my God, you're gorgeous.
Now, this is a guy that I am supposed to meet in less than 24 hours. And I was floored.
Christmas time, messaging women saying, no, I had a quiet holiday. I went to visit my family in the country. Well, that's my family you're talking about.
Okay, well, I'm obviously not gonna go on a date with him tomorrow. But I'm also like, well, this is a bit of an opportunity here. This guy is a fucking scammer. And I am literally next on the list.